I was working for engine division at Ford Motor Company, and I actually was in a coolant pit, a really nasty spot, and I was having it cleaned because we were having a lot of problems with that machining line. And a guy that normally would never go near one of those things came down with a respirator on because it stunk down there, and told me I had to go to a conference. So I went to World Headquarters, and I smelled like a coolant pit, and I went and sat in the front row, and Dr. Deming came out, and he looked around the audience, and he went, I think I smell a factory rat. And everybody started laughing, and that was me. So that's how I met him. Really and truly what was going on was Ford Motor Company was bankrupt. Most people would have written it off, but the Ford family came forward with enough money out of their own personal pockets to keep Ford Motor Company alive. But Philip Caldwell was the chairman at the time, or the president, I can't remember which, but he brought Deming in. And Deming was very expensive because Deming had been fired from basically every North American car company, well, every car company, everybody. Nobody wanted anything to do with quality when the whiz kids came in. It was all about how much can we shove out the door. And now when we get to the 80s, the Japanese are showing up with cars that don't cost as much and are very high quality and very good on fuel economy. Ford was caught flat-footed. So Deming coming in made a huge difference. He saved Ford Motor Company. A lot of people stand up there and pound their chest, but Deming saved Ford Motor Company from going out of business, and that was because we moved from found on road dead. That used to be what Ford stood for. It went from found on road dead to a very desirable car. It was job one. Everything was quality is job one, and it made a huge difference. We worked together. I became a Deming disciple. I was trained by both Dr. Deming and other people that Deming brought with him in statistical process control mostly, but also in 2QM, total quality management, and several other processes that Deming professed. So we didn't really call them quality circles, and we never really called it lean manufacturing, but we did a lot of what, or I did a lot of what he professed because of my previous experience in the machine tool world. When we were in our quality mode, as it were, we were trying to fix things on the factory floor. And in many cases, the problems, we couldn't fix the problems because the problems were based on poor design. So Deming was trying to get us to try and figure out how to rectify problems or get around problems. And I said, why aren't we just getting rid of the problem completely? And the way we can do that is by changing the design. And then, because of the quality aspects, I mean, Deming used to say all the time, as variation is reduced, then quality will increase. Well, what's the best way to reduce reduce variation? Get rid of some of the parts, get rid of some of the operations. And then if I want to have higher quality, maybe what I should do is, instead of having a guy with a file trying to fit something that came off a stamping line, why don't I just make that part out of a plastic injection molding, which has a very high first-time capability right away? Why don't I just do that? So there was a lot of things that drove us in that direction. And Dr. Deming told me, he said, I've taken care of, he had taken care of the things that were on the factory trying to reduce variation, but the best way to reduce variation was in product design. And so I use that still today.